Asus has introduced a new line of Wi-Fi products for business use. This right here is the Asus Expert Wi-Fi EBR63. It's a Wi-Fi 6 device with the AX3000 that supports dual bandwidth Wi-Fi. It has the ability to be a router, range extender. It's fast, it's stable, as well as it's secure with up to 5 SSIDs, VLANing, the ability to have a guest portal, dual WAN connectivity to ensure your business is always connected, as well as built-in VPN, as well as subscription-free security protection built in. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, you guys know I am a big network buff. And when I heard of this device coming into the market, I said, hey, you know what? I want to play with this because of some of its awesome features. So some of the products in the Expert Wi-Fi range, you have the EBR63, which is the router and AP. And then you have the EBR15, which is a spot switch. Now let's take a look at what comes in the box with this device. Okay, so now let us take a look at what we get in the box. So the way this box opens is up. So we get some documentation, VIP member wire, CE statements, quick start guide, wall support mounting details, a lot of papers. Advanced Wi-Fi helper tips, that's always important. And then we come to our router. And the first thing I must state is that this router is absolutely small for what I was expecting. I was expecting something so much more bigger. And if we look at it, this device is absolutely small. And I love what they've done here. They've sort of made an embossment here where Expert Wi-Fi is. So it sort of stands out and it's like has a shadow effect. Absolutely amazing. The usual Asus logo. What is this? Aha! The device comes with a kickstand, so you can almost stand it up. That's cool. And plastic of this device, firm, awesome plastic. You can see there's quite a few indicators, our 4 LAN ports, 2.45 internet power. And then looking at the top here, so we have power in, USB 2.0 port, USB 3.0 port, internet in or WAN, LAN 1s through 4. And then at the bottom, obviously, we have the mounting brackets and the kickstand. But I mean, all in all, awesome device. We have our 4 antennas, very awesome feel, and it's actually quite heavy. Looking at what else we have remaining in the box, we lift the rest up. See, okay, we have a power adapter, dual fittings, and LAN cable. Not too much else for us to talk about. So now let us carry on with some of the other features that make this Expert Wi-Fi. Alright, so now let's talk about some of the specifications. In terms of the chipset, it has a BRCM6756 chipset. It's the AX3000 router or AP. In terms of a processor, this is running a 1.7 quad-core processor. In terms of memory or storage, it has NAND flash, which is 256 megabytes, and then it also has DDR3 SRAM, which is 512 megabytes. In terms of the bitrate supported by this device, on the 2.4 gigahertz, it can support 574 megabits per second. On the 5 gigahertz bandwidth, it can support 2402 megabits per second. In terms of the ports, As we said, we have a WAN port, is a 1 gigabit WAN port actually, and then we have 4 Ethernet ports, which are all also gigabit Ethernet ports. In terms of the USB ports, it has the one USB 2.0 port, as well as the USB 3.2 Gen 1 port as well. In terms of the antenna configuration, it has 4 external antennas, as we can see, 2 dedicated to the 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth on a 2 decibel in a 2x2 configuration, and 5 gigahertz, same thing, 2x2 configuration. Alright, so now let's talk about some features of note. The first feature that we have to talk about is the fact that we can separate as well as have secure usage of this device. Because it supports up to 5 SSIDs as well as VLANing, so that means we can separate as well as prioritize devices that are connecting to this for different business scenarios. As well as something important to note is that we can have VPNs even attached to the individual SSIDs. So then we can have someone who's working on a totally separate system, they could just connect to that Wi-Fi and connect to that other system instead of them having VPNs on their own or individual devices. The second thing we have to talk about is the fact that we can customize the guest portal and basically actually have a guest portal. So if you're running a small business, you can seem professional because you can set up a guest portal, you could set up pictures, everything from branding to visual appearance, and all fit the particular needs of your business style. And that, I think, is something that we cannot put a price on. When it comes to the third feature we have to talk about is the fact that we can have backup WAN for a stable connectivity, right? So one of the USB ports can be used to, obviously, you plug in a USB dongle to be a backup internet connection. But here's the good part, is that USB dongles aren't so much of a thing anymore. What we could do is this device could connect to something like a phone hotspot and keep the internet going. So that's awesome. The fourth feature we have to talk about is commercial grade network security, as well as a VPN built into the device for safe browsing. So VPN features to connect easily, as well as secure the public Wi-Fi so you can provide security to your guests. As well as the fact that this comes with a free subscription to the Asus AI Protection Pro, which is an awesome thing. The fifth feature now that we have to talk about is that this can accommodate to any space, because the EBR63 comes with the built-in bracket, so it can stand up like this on a counter, as well as it has the ports at the back. So you can wall mount it so that it looks less intrusive as such, right? Because this is a small device, let's not get it wrong. And this can fit into almost any location and space, allowing you to save space, as well as it's being so flexible. So now, the suggested retail of this device is $150 US, and it is going to start to come into the South African market. Retail price for the South African market hasn't been confirmed yet, but we will, or in the description below, should be the suggested retail price for the South African market. But yeah guys, that brings us to the end of this video. This was an awesome thing to play with, and now that we've unboxed it, I'm really excited to try and set this up and test out some of the features, even the guest portal. I mean, I've spoken to some of family members and that sort of thing who run businesses, and I was talking to them about this, and they were quite intrigued by a router being able to provide all of this functionality without having to have third-party systems set up and without it having to cost an arm and a leg. So who knows, maybe we might get around to going to one of these people's businesses and setting this up for them and for letting their customers experience the Expert Wi-Fi of Asus. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. A big shout out to Asus for sending out this device for us to take a look at, as well as share this knowledge with you guys that are watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by giving a like rating if you did. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future content. And as usual guys, thanks for watching. My name is Prashant, and I'll catch you in the next video.